Mercedes w163 overhead console, the display, the light. Oops, let's turn that on. The lights in mine are burnt out, have been burnt out since I got it. And I'm going to get around to changing the bulbs in it. I'm going to put an LED in there, and I'll try to do that in a second. First thing you have to do is obviously remove the console. Pop the two plastic light covers off. They push on the top. Yeah. I don't have a plastic pry tool with me. I'm going to be dangerous and use a screwdriver. Pop it in. Ugh, pull back. Oops. Okay, I'm going to get a plastic trim tool. I hate using a screwdriver. So pop it in, pull back on it, and then swing it out, down and out. Take those two sides out, and then you're going to see 4 screws. There are 2 on either side, and then 2 there, 1, and there'll be another one up under here. Take those out first, and we'll be back in a second. Okay, the 4 little black screws are out. I'm trying not to get in the light. But anyway, the 1, 2, 3, 4th screw is right there. I'm trying to stay out of the shadows for you. And now before you go any further, take your key out of the ignition, turn the key off, make sure the lights are off. Key out of the ignition, very, very important. And now we're going to take a, where did I put it? Oh, back in a second. Okay, we're going to take a flat-headed flat-headed screwdriver, and there are 2 plastic pins sticking up through here. Turn your screwdriver this way, not that way, this way, and push gently on them, and they will pop out and through. Oops. So once that's done, it should be floppy like this. Now we're going to pop the, let's do this one first. I hate pulling on these things. I hate the sound of old plastic. It does just unclip from this end. It pops down. Oh, Jesus. God, I hate that. Why does it have to be so hard to and squeaky? So this is your door opener, garage door opener, and the temperature sensor for inside. They're connected up in here, and we cannot disconnect those until we get the whole thing out. Unfortunately, it would be nice to have had plugs in here. There are not. And now take the center, this part with the switch for the sunroof and the interior lighting, and that just pulls down as well. It's going to make nasty plastic. Okay, sorry, just as this piece popped down, my phone rang and shut off the camera. I'm using my cell phone to film this. Anyway, now you've got 2 electrical connectors you can unplug on this part and pull it down. This one we still have to leave here. We're still hanging, so we're going to unplug this, and back in a second. I'm recommending going into rubber glove mode now because you'll be touching your headliner, and if you've got any dirt on your hands, it's just going to transfer to your headliner. So back in 1 second after I unplug that. Okay, so that's unplugged, and now we're going to take, there's 2 brass clips here, and we are going to pop those, brass colored, no, they're brass, I don't think they're brass. We're going to pop those off. Oops. Just slide them. Doing this with one hand, with 2 hands you're not going to be making all this noise and sound like you're pulling the car apart. With one hand it's a bit trickier. So pop those 2 clips off. Okay, that's just going to make it easier to unhook this. Once we get the whole thing down, you're not going to be hanging on it because there's not a lot of room in the wiring. When this was made, there's not a heck of a lot. You might be able to, actually I think I can get, no I can't. No, I'm not going to bother trying. Because as you can see, there's like Well, yeah, you can. So gently, you're gonna have to, I hate these clips, you're gonna have to use a little tiny screwdriver and pop these two clips off on that end, not this end, the other end, and disconnect the wiring. These little metal, little gray things on the end do absolutely nothing for you. So don't bother trying to pull them or pop them. They don't seem to do anything. So pop the two clips from the other side if you can. If not, you can wait until we get the whole console down. I'm going to pop these off now just because it's going to make it easier and everything's not going to be flopping in the way on me. So I'll be back in a second. Okay, now comes the most pain in the ass part of this entire operation. Up here you're going to see two clips that you're going to pull. You hear that popping toward you. And I'm not going to be able to do this without two hands. It's impossible. And you're going to take your hand, put it here, and put the other hand on the back, and you're going to push forward toward the front of the car, and you'll feel it slightly release, and then you can pull the whole thing down and out. Don't just yank on this thing. You've got to push forward pretty damn hard to get this thing to release. And again, I'm going to need two hands to not snap the entire thing in half. So I'm going to push forward the way I'm pushing with my fingers. I'm going to push. No, I'm not going to be able to do it with one hand. There's no freaking way. So pop these clips. Like I said, pull them toward you. See a little clip there. Oops, spring clip. Those pull toward you, and those release from the metal of the roof, and then you push forward and pull down. You'll feel it when it pushes forward enough. You'll feel the difference. You'll feel when it has pushed forward enough. It's only like a millimeter or two it's got to move, but honest to God, it's a pain in the ass millimeter. So I'm going to do that. We'll be back in a second. Okay, pain in the ass millimeter pushed. Now I can pop it down, and you can see these big long feet with the clips on them. That's what was holding it in, and you're going to have to slide it now back toward you. Oh God, what was that? I've heard a piece of plastic drop. Damn it. God, I hate old plastic. Whatever that was. Hopefully nothing important. So now we see underneath, and we can see this is the module we're going to have to pull out. Disconnect this wiring connector here, and this one. Well, this one, and then this one you can push. There's a little pin underneath. You can go through that little slot and push up on the pin. See the wiring connector there? Push up with a flathead screwdriver on the release, and you can release that connector there and release. Well, you do need to release this one. Let's just release. Yeah, we do. Sorry. So take off this one and this one, and we're good to go. Back in a second. Okay, so now the console's out, and here's the offending little bugger we need to get to. Torx T15 screwdriver, 4 screws. Pull those out. Back in a second. Okay, now there's 3 little clips on the side. There's one on one side and 2 on the other. You just pop them up and pull the top off away gently. Now this whole thing is going to come out away from the top. Let's get rid of that. And from the bottom. Just trying to be gentle with this without breaking it. Okay, see these 2 pins here? You push in on them, and the one on the side, see this finger on the side that's going in? Push it in this way, push it toward the center, and it's going to release. And these 2, as you can see, lock in as well. Actually, no, I don't think those ones do lock in. I was pushing on those before, and I guess they don't. So it's just this side one. So we're going to pop that in, and then pop the whole thing apart in one piece, and hopefully not kill everything. Back in a second. Okay, so this side slots into the side of the, see the 2 fingers, see the width between the 2 fingers there? that goes into the plastic bar, and then this side clips on the other side. So when you remove it, you pop this side up away from it and then slide it out. And when you go back in, you're going to slide this end in and then pop down. And there's our LCD panel. And these two little clips hold the LCD panel in. So what we're going to do, you can see there's a little, again, my other camera is gone right now, so I can't use it. I'm sorry, I have to use a cell phone camera and I have no mount for it. So it's either shaky one-handed video or nothing. So what you're going to do is barbecue poker. This little slot here, I'm going to put a barbecue skewer in to push on the mirror, on the glass, when I pull back on this. So you're going to pull this part away in that direction. See how it holds over top of the little glass mirror? You're going to pull it away and then push up on the glass with a barbecue skewer. Don't use anything metal, use something plastic or something wood. So again, this is going to be pulled in this direction up, and then the glass is going to be popped toward you in this direction on both sides. Do one side at a time and then gently lift the entire glass. See the metal, the little pins here? You're just going to bend it, use the little pins as a hinge and gently bend it away. And I'll show you what it looks like when I'm done doing that in 2 seconds. Okay, so I've got the little two pins released, and the glass, and behind the glass there's a little blue like filter screen. And now we're going to gently bend the mirror toward us. You can slide the little filter screen out and put it aside, and you can see the light bulbs that are down in there. Gently bend this back. Okay, now we see the light bulbs, and you can just grab those with a pair of pliers and needle nose. Be careful, don't scratch. See the white part on the back of the LCD? Don't scratch that. Or LED. LCD. And don't scratch that. So see DS1, DS2, DS3, those three little bulbs you're going to grab with a pair of needle nose pliers and gently just snap them off. Okay, as you can see, I've popped off the middle one. And there's no way to get you in here to see this. Just a tiny twist and they'll pop off. But I have to hold down with the other hand. But you can see how it's being done. Tiny little twist and pop them off. It doesn't take a lot of force. They're barely soldered on there. Back in a second. Okay, and that's all three popped off. And you can solder little tiny incandescent lamps on there if you want. I'm going to solder an LED in there because I don't ever want to have to do this again. And incandescent will make heat. You don't know if you've used the right wattage. I don't know what wattage those little bulbs are. Probably 1/4 of a watt or something. I don't want to solder 3 of them. I want to put one in there, one LED, and be done with it. So I'm going to find something in my box and back in a minute. Okay, if like me you're going to be using an LED, then you need to know which of these posts is positive and which of these posts is negative. Now you can see that I'm looking at this upside down, and upside down on the right one is positive, the left one is negative. Positive, negative, positive, negative. And I'm looking at the writing. You see the writing, the DS1, DS2, DS3, that's upside down. If you have it flipped over, obviously it's the other direction. But if you think about it, just think about it toward the little speaker thingy. that looks like a speaker, your crash sensor, your glass break sensor. That is the negative side. The other side is the positive side, and you've got 3 of them. Negative, positive, negative, positive, negative, positive. So those are the 3 you're going to be soldering to. This isn't a lesson on soldering, so I'm just going to solder my LED there, and we'll show you that when it's done. And I'm not going to be able to film soldering way down in there. It's just a soldering iron and solder, no big deal. I just have to find an LED. I found these little bulbs in my toolbox. There's some kind of, I don't know, like model train bulbs or Christmas lights or something. I don't know, they're dim, so I'm not going to use those. I'm just going to take another look and see what I can find. I don't know if I'll make it white, red, I have no idea. Whatever bulb I can find that will fit in there and will make enough light is what's going in there. I don't give a damn what color it is. It can be blue for all I care. But I'm going to look, see what I can find, and be back in a second. I'd rather not have white at eye level, because I think that would be a little bit blinding at night. So red or blue would be better. Let me check and see what I've got, and I will be back in a minute. Okay, here's my 2 LEDs soldered in. It's kind of an ugly solder job, just because I just did not want to keep the soldering iron, which is obviously hot, very near to that white on the back of the LCD panel, because it'll melt that, the LCD will bleed through, and you'll be done, and having to find another one. So I am now going to plug this in, and when you plug this in first, there should be power for about 10 seconds or 15 seconds, and then go out. Key is nodding, the ignition lights are not on, but I should be safe plugging this in. I'm going to put this camera down for half a second while I plug this in, because I need 2 hands. Okay, so I've only plugged it into the readout panel. Looks like that blue is good. I did not have any whites in that size, and again, I didn't want white at my eye height. I was going to use yellow or red, did not have yellow or red, so blue it is. So hopefully that goes out in about 10-15 seconds. Fingers are crossed. I'll wait with you. Yes. Okay, we're good to go. I'm going to put, I'll take this off, be back in a second. Okay, don't forget to put the diffuser panel back in, and then gently bend it over while you're pushing these clips to pull it out of the way. Obviously I can't show you this, but diffuser end is on the bottom, and then swing the glass back down, and gently, 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 and then pop little clips, and that will lock it in, and I'll show you that in 13 seconds. Actually, I just noticed this, see where I touched the side with my soldering iron. So the panel's back on. We're going to plug this in one more time and make sure it's lit up properly with the diffuser before we put everything back together. And we are good to go. So now I'm just going to reassemble in the reverse order and put everything all back together. And I'll show you one or two little tips on putting the entire panel back on. But putting this stuff all back together is just a reverse, and then I'll show you what putting the entire upper console, went off, upper console is like. I'll show you that in a second. That light comes on when you turn off your car for the tow sensor. That thing that says on, that's your towing sensor. If you want to turn your towing sensor off, which is basically your alarm, if somebody tries to tow your car, you would push the reset button, I think, or the mode reset button, and change it to off. And every time power comes to this panel, it naturally goes to that mode. That's for the towing sensor and the alarm. So that's why that comes on for about 15 seconds, then goes off. But we're not worried about that. We're just worried that we've now got light behind this panel, and we're going to assemble everything, and I'll get back to you as soon as I'm ready to put the panel back up, the console. Okay, when you're putting this back together, I'm just getting the wiring plugged back in. I've got everything screwed back on. These little slots here with those little tabs that you push with the screwdriver to pop them out, make sure those are lined up in the 2 holes. Basically, this entire thing under here, there's a U-shaped plastic frame that holds that the 4 screws go through, and the pins go through. Now you want to, once we put this back in, you're going to put front in. Obviously you see how this sticks out, so you're going to stick that in first and then leverage it forward and pop these two clips into these two holes. Make sure the wires are out of the way, and I'll show you that once that's all back in. Again, slide the front in over top of the little hump that's going to go in there. Be careful not to wreck your headliner. It's kind of bunched up. See, it kind of bunches up on this side. Just be careful not to do it, to push too hard and wreck it. Just be gentle and worm it in there, and then pop the two clips up, and then I'll be back to show you just a little trick to get it back in a little easier. Back in a second. Okay, once you get it snugged in and all aligned up and the headliner's not poking through or anything, push up and clip those two clips, the two big clips. You're going to pop them into, let's make sure all the wiring is sticking out that we need. Take that wire and little black one, where are you? Okay, I want them hidden up underneath. Okay, so push these forward. Hear that snap? Push them forward to make sure they lock into the metal. And now look up inside and make sure those two pins are lined up in there, which they are. And now you're going to put the two front screws in, not the back ones, two front ones first. So I'll put those two in and be back in a second. Okay, so the reason we put the two front screws on is, as I said, underneath here there's a U-shaped, goes all the way around the back plastic. It's just a plastic U-shaped channel that the 4 bolts go into and that these two little locks go into. And when you put these two in the front, you've got it aligned there. And then when you go to put the back ones in, you might not be able to get them lined up, but you will be able to reach under here with your finger and feel that plastic clip and move it around until it lines up with the hole. If you do the backs first, you won't be able to reach forward and align those two. So now we're just going to put everything back together and make sure everything works. Other than that, that's the only trick. Oh, and these little pop hole. You're just going to push up. I'm pushing with my thumb, and I'm going to put a screwdriver in there and wiggle that little clip till it pops through the hole. You'll hear it snap into place, but it won't do it until you get the back screws in. So get the back screws seated and into their holes, and then push up here with your thumb while you kind of manipulate that little clip in there with, it's a round clip that goes to the round hole, and you're going to manipulate with the screwdriver, it'll pop through. Kind of a silly system, but yeah, it works. A bitch to figure out though. Anyway, yeah, back once everything's up and all together. Don't forget, once you plug these two little wires in, the two that didn't come out very far, to slip the little brass spring clips over top of the end again. This just hangs by two little feet there. The wiring on this is not, just kind of sloppy there. Pop that back into place. I can plug these two, pop that back into place. With the plastic covers, they go in this way first. They go in bottom first and rotate up. See, the little hole's going to go into that slot. But first I have to put the back part on, and back in a sec. Okay, so we're done and together. So I'm going to put the key in the ignition. And let's turn off this freaking work light. And turn it to second position. And I'm going to have to reset it for, this blue is kind of, there we go. Yes, it's English. Okay, date. 10, oh, it is 10/12. Oh, hell. Little battery in it, I guess, still works. Yeah, I don't want to reset you, so stop that. 2016, which it still is. Stop it. 10, 12. Okay. Mode northwest. I am facing that direction. That's timer. Liters per 100 kilometers. Liters per. Wow, that's nasty. I don't know whose that is. It's not mine. Actually, it was because I was drag racing down the street. 18 kilometers to empty. Canada English. Bada boom. We're good to go. Thanks for watching. I think I like the blue. Well, the blue's not bad. It's not going to be hard on the eyes up there at night. Ooh, look. Who's that guy in the mirror? Anyway, thank you for watching.